A well-known volunteer ousted from the CLE board. The event center attracts private sector interest. And Brian Burke is heading to the Calgary Flames.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. The membership of the Canadian Lakehead Exhibition has voted to expel one of its directors from the board.
Linda Gamby, who is best known as chair of the Christmas Cheer campaign, was removed in a 2/3 majority vote at a special meeting held last night. A statement released by the CLE board says Gamby had threatened legal action over alleged defamatory comments, but she believes there were other reasons for the action. Gamby says the board's decision stemmed from her allegations of members drinking and driving after meetings, and adds CLE board members have access to a fully stocked bar 7 days a week. She was upset with the final decision and made this statement last night.
I have been committed to the issue of not drinking, but leaving here while drunk. They could kill someone that I love, someone that you love, or anyone else. There was phone calls as late as last night from members of our board to voting members saying, you need to come out and vote. She is shutting down the bar.
I hope the members here keep it to themselves. This is an internal discussion. The public will get their own version and deal with it the way they want to.
The board denies these allegations as the reason for the removal of Gamby. It says threatening legal action against its members is considered a conflict of interest and that her claims are not proven.
You were told that you were a liar and a slanderer and you broke into offices and stole time cards and stuff like that, and this persisted, harassing and bullying over a year. I don't know, I would put it to anyone out in the community. Would you take it or would you sue them? And I didn't sue them. I mean, the biggest point is I didn't take any action whatsoever.
Gamby has so far declined to comment on whether the decision to remove her from the CLE board will have an impact on the Christmas Cheer campaign, which is located at the CLE Coliseum.
The city has received several expressions of interest from notable hockey teams that want to come to Thunder Bay to play at the proposed event center. The submission application process closed last week. The entries are now being reviewed while city administration awaits official word on what kind of financial support the project will receive from the federal government.
Create interest, and then B, to demonstrate a viability of this project.
Consultant Ron Badalka says he and city staff are reviewing a number of submissions from hockey teams looking to become the anchor tenant at the proposed $106 million event center. Though he's not at liberty to say who those teams are, he feels their clubs people will pay to see.
Yeah, they are leagues, and that people would recognize. They are teams that people would recognize.
It's assumed by many that Lakehead University is one of the applicants. However, city manager Tim Camisso would only say he's pleased with how the university has approached the process. But it's not only hockey team submissions the city's mulling over.
There's submissions that cover a gambit of expressions of interest for business opportunities in the building, whether it be hockey, whether it be operating the facility, or taking space within the building for restaurants and other opportunities like that.
But first, the city has to secure the federal funding necessary to move the project ahead. Facilities and Fleet Manager Michael Smith expects to have the official word from FedNor in October. The city had initially submitted a request for $465,000 to complete only Phase 3 of the project, but after speaking with FedNor officials, they instead decided to increase that asking amount to nearly $1 million, enough to take the project to a shovel-ready status. And Smith is optimistic the feds will come on board.
In preliminary discussions with staff through FedNor, we're anticipating that it'll be a favorable response. But of course, until we hear a formal response, we're sort of in a holding pattern at this point.
They're hopeful construction can begin in spring of 2016, which would allow the facility to be operational by the following year.
And just moments ago, we learned that among the bidders are former NHLer Ryan Johnson and Thunder Bay entrepreneur and investor Keith McCullough, who have submitted a bid under the latter's Canadian company, McCullough Capital Management. McCullough confirmed he wants to bring an American Hockey League franchise to the city, adding he's working with the world's largest publicly traded entertainment, hotel, and leisure and restaurant companies on the operations side.
Thunder Bay police are investigating a robbery that occurred at a Subway restaurant last night. At around 11 o'clock, an employee was closing the store on North Cumberland Street when a man walked in. He was holding what is believed to be a firearm. The robber then demanded money from the employee and made off with an undisclosed amount of cash. Constable Julie Tilbury says the investigation is ongoing.
The Thunder Bay Police are currently looking for a male believed to be approximately 5'10" with a thin build. He's about 20 to 25 years of age. He was wearing a dark hoodie with dark pants and a blue face mask. Anyone who has any information about this is asked to call Thunder Bay Police or Crime Stoppers.
The man was last seen heading east from the Subway restaurant. No one was injured during the incident.
An escaped prisoner from Kenora was arrested today after more than 2 weeks on the lam. 53-year-old Harvey Smith from the White Dog First Nation managed to escape police custody while being transported to the Kenora courthouse on August 20th. OPP say they received information that Smith was in the downtown area of Kenora and he was arrested without incident. He's charged with escaping lawful custody.
Preventing crime in Thunder Bay is not just up to the police. It can also be individuals and groups making a conscious effort to improve community safety. And for the third year in a row, Mayor Keith Hobbs and the Crime Prevention Council are looking to reward those people. Nominations are now open for the 2013 Mayor's Community Safety Awards. They recognize citizens and groups who are working to make neighborhoods more safe and improve the quality of life in Thunder Bay. The categories include Community Hero, Young Leader, and Outstanding Community Project. Chair of the Crime Prevention Council, Tom Walters, says it can take 5 to 10 years for prevention measures to take effect. They haven't seen a drop in crime stats yet, but they're hopeful that the awards like this will help.
To recognize the work of people who are out there doing things that in some cases people may not realize just how important they are, and we want to bring attention to that and bring attention to the fact that anybody can really be working on preventing crime.
A lot of these people that are behind the efforts are doing it on their own time, on their own dime, and they're expending a lot of their life making their own communities safe. They do it. They don't get paid to do this. They do it as their own initiative because they take pride in their city. So if we can make that infectious and spread that across the entire city, wow, we're going to do great.
Nominations for the awards close on September 27th. Forms are available at City Hall or on the city's website.
A 24-year-old man had to be treated for leg injuries at the regional hospital after he fell off a roof at a construction site yesterday afternoon. City firefighters and paramedics responded to an address at Cadillac Circle around 4:30 and prepared the victim for transportation to hospital. The Ministry of Labor is investigating.
It was an emotional day at Dennis Franklin Cromartie High School. Students and staff gathered for their 4th annual walk in memory of the 7 Aboriginal youth that have died while in Thunder Bay since the year 2000. The inquest that will examine those deaths won't begin until next year, and leaders are hoping events like today will help prevent further tragedies. Matt Scooby has more.
Ida McCuck is from Mishkegogomang First Nation. She's been on the board of directors of the Northern Anishinaabe Education Council since 2009 and has 2 daughters that attend Dennis Franklin Cromartie. But before now, she hadn't taken part in the memorial walk.
I wanted to show the support to the children, to my children as well as the other students, and act on behalf of my community because we lost one of the boys from there a couple of years ago.
McCuck was one of about 200 people to take part in the 4th annual walk, which remembers the 7 Aboriginal youth that have died while at school in Thunder Bay over the past decade. Another person on the walk was Ontario Regional Chief Stan Beardy. Originally, Beardy didn't plan to attend, but that changed after a discussion with his executive assistant, and he delivered a simple message.
I am from a small community called Musquat, 300 people. I know what it's like for them to be up here. And I figured in my role as a regional chief of Ontario, it's important for them to know that if I can do it, they can do it as well. So that was my messaging. If I can do it, they should be able to do it too.
Beardy adds that it takes a collective effort to help the students understand why they're at school in the city. A lot of that responsibility falls on the students themselves, and DFC Principal Jonathan Kakagimik supports that.
It's time that we give the responsibility to our kids now. And this day is part of that we need to learn from our tragic losses and also that alcohol is not the answer. And this is a good way because it gives the time to students to think on the walk.
He adds that the staff have been a big part in helping with awareness about safety and responsibility. The ultimate goal is to prevent the same tragedies from happening in the future. More could be learned from the inquest into the deaths of the 7 Aboriginal youth. That's scheduled to start in the spring of 2014. Matt Scooby, TBT News.
The Thunder Bay Catholic School Board is investigating an incident yesterday involving children on a school bus. Sources say around a dozen students at St. Martin's School were temporarily misplaced after they hopped on the wrong bus after the first day of class. Several parents went to the school looking for their children, and all the kids were eventually accounted for and taken home. Officials with the school board say they take bus safety extremely seriously and will continue looking into the matter.
It was an exciting and fun-filled day for brand new students moving into Lakehead University. Close to 1,000 people packed up their belongings and started to set up their new rooms on campus. Courtney Rutherford was at LU as students said goodbye to their parents and began the next chapter of their lives.
I'm excited, confused, scared, a lot of things, but mostly excitement, yeah.
Sault Ste. Marie native Colin McLean isn't the only one who is feeling this way today. He, along with 1,000 other students, have made their way to the Lakehead University campus to set up shop for the next 9 months. Families were seen carrying boxes and bags in and out of the residences all day long. And it wasn't just an exciting day for the students.
She's the first child of ours that's going, first of 5, so we will be through this many a times, but it's exciting. It's a little sad, but it's a good start, and we're very proud of her. So we're excited.
The faculty and staff at the university have tons of welcoming activities planned for the students all week long. It's a way to help them not only transition into university life, but living on their own for the first time.
So our students normally are a little bit nervous, a little bit excited. They're ready to start their new chapter. We try to make that transition as easy as possible by helping them to get to know around the university. So generally we have to deal with some parents being a little sad bringing their students from away, but we try to help them as much as possible.
Over the next couple of days, the students will have a chance to meet with their professors, peers, and the community. Those we spoke with are excited to begin this next chapter.
It's going to be a lot easier to meet people, I think, and just get to know the area, have other people who are like first year and stuff.
Setting up my bedroom is the most exciting part. Everyone's making fun of me because everything's matching, and so that and meeting new friends.
A welcome barbecue is scheduled around noon on Friday. The President's Dinner will take place at 5 p.m. and the Lusu Carnival will take place Saturday evening. Courtney Rutherford, TBT News.
TBT has won an award for its digital TV service. The Canadian Cable Systems Alliance has presented the utility with a Community Channel Award for 2 of its digital TV apps, which provide flight status updates and city transit information. Along with the award, TBT received a $1,000 prize, which was given to Children's Wish Thunder Bay.
The downtown South Core will be a busy place this Saturday. The 6th annual Fort William Fall Street Festival is set to go, and it will also coincide with Riverfest. Officials from the festival were excited to announce this morning just some of the activities that will be taking place. Even the Victoriaville Centre is climbing on board with a photo gallery of original pieces from around the South Side. Fort William BIA coordinator Tina Huck says there will be something for everyone at this year's festival.
We have more vendors than ever. We have 76 vendors. And I forgot to mention, we have a full stage of entertainment. So we have a fashion show put on by Silhouette Boutique. We have some local bands, the Boys from the Bay, Evolution, some people from 4 a.m. in Thunder Bay, and we have a local blues musician, James Baraski.
Festivities will also be taking place Saturday afternoon at the nearby Cam River Heritage Park. Riverfest is back again, and the public is invited to the park to celebrate that portion of the city's waterfront. Tours of various ships, face painting, and concessions will keep the little ones busy. Riverfest begins at noon with the street fair starting at 11:30.
Well over 100 submissions came in from around the world to be compiled for this year's Bay Street Film Festival. The event, which is in its 9th year, kicked off last night with the first ever Film Festival Gala. 39 films made the cut this year, 8 of which were created by independent filmmakers from the local community. And one of those films will be showcased outdoors as part of the city's movie nights in the park. The documentary The Big Blue by director Kelly Saxberg will be shown at Marina Park on Friday night. It's the story of a team of rowers that crossed the Atlantic Ocean. This year's Film Fest will also feature 2 locally produced music videos. Festival administrator Zoe Gordon says there are some new events that have been added to the roster this time around.
We also have a couple new amazing features like the Talkies, which is happening on Saturday at the Waverley Public Library. And you can come and talk to a filmmaker one-on-one. So we had, I think, 120 submissions this year, and of that we could take, 40.
The film festival continues tonight and wraps up Sunday. Festival passes range between $7 and $50 with special rates given to students and seniors.
And drive-in movies are coming back to the Thunder Bay area. The Murillo Fairgrounds will be transformed this weekend into a classic drive-in theater. A giant 40 by 70 screen has been set up on the grounds for a fundraiser in support of Community Living Thunder Bay. The venue will offer Back to the Future on Friday night and E.T. on Saturday. It will cost $30 per car, and the movies are expected to play just after dusk. Volunteer coordinator Rita Lalonde says their goal is to raise $3,000 for the organization.
Living, and it supports the social functions for the Just for Fun group as well as the Oliver Agricultural Society. We're a partnership in this, and it helps support our programs, and it helps us to, it enables us to improve the quality of life for people living with intellectual developmental disabilities in the community.
This is the second time for the drive-in after the agency held the event in 2008. And this time around, popcorn, hot dogs, and refreshments will be available during the films.